Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Skills Go Up Devlog. This is episode 9 in the series, and as usual, it's been another very productive week where I spent way too much of my life programming, and yeah, I'm loving it. It's been a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and get into what all we worked on this week. The first thing on the list, because we're just going to go in the order I wrote it down, which is the order I added things for the most part, we have auras. This is a skill that I added a while back with no use. Now it has a use. We've started off with the iconic defensive auras. So this is your anti-magic aura, your anti-archery aura, and your anti-melee aura. If you need to recharge your aura, you can go to a lodestone shrine and recharge it. And there you go. Now, the nice thing about aura is that it recharges over time. So even if you don't have a shrine accessible, you will eventually recharge, though it does take quite a while if you're high level to get back from 0 to full. The other thing is, of course, up at the top, you can see we have a little pie chart bar thing that shows how much it's drained, and you can kind of get a feel of how long it takes to gain back 1 point from that recharging. It's a pretty nice little system. I like it. But yeah, auras, I don't yet have a way to train them in. You do get a little bit of XP from just using an aura. Every 5 seconds, it gives you 1 XP. But obviously, that's not a way to get level 100. So I have an idea of one possible way to train it, but it requires a lot more infrastructure than our current test world allows for. So I'm just happy to finally have the skill be functional, though, because slotting it into the menu was definitely a concern of mine. And I'm hoping we don't need any more tabs in the magic menu. Otherwise, we might have to do some more redesigns on the entire interface. Speaking of the interface, though, it has been upgraded a bit. Just little things like the sub tabs now, they highlight instead of putting a box around them. Some of the sidebars, they don't use the big text anymore. They just kind of indent the sub information stuff. It looks a little bit neater. Just little things like that all throughout. I still haven't fixed the alignment of the money pouch numbers, but you know, whatever. We'll get to it eventually. Just a little bit of tidying, though. I like how it looks. And I'm probably forgetting something I did. That was one of the first things I did this week, so I might be forgetting some of the nice fanciness we've got. Oh, right, I got rid of the guides for what keys to press, because I've got that memorized now. Anyway, so the next thing is the jewelry revamp. Actually, we would have seen that when we went by equipment. You might notice jewelry is now kind of like the tool belt down at the bottom. So previously we had the neck, ring 1, and ring 2 slots. Those are gone. Now there's just the jewelry slots, which is like the tool belt, an expandable section. So you can unlock the ability to wear more jewelry. That doesn't mean you can just wear 10 rings, though. So there is a limit per type of jewelry. We can wear up to 2 rings. You can wear up to 1 necklace. But that's not all there is, because now we have earrings. There's earrings of 2 types. You have the set of earrings, which covers both ears, and then a single earring. They both take up 1 slot, but it kind of changes things on what you can wear. We also have the bracelet and anklet. You can wear 2 of each. Pretty common sense there. And then we have the brooch, which, unlike everything else, unlimited. You can wear as many as you have slots if you want. And I even have a quest idea for that, so that's fun. I don't know how many the final slot count's going to be in the game, but it's set up to where it's just free to do whatever we want with it. So let's go ahead and head on over to the bank. And we can try out another one of the features we added. So let's say I want a brooch. Let's say I also want an earring. Why, look at that. We have brooches and earrings. Huh. I don't know why it's spelled 2 different ways. I should probably fix that. Which one is even correct? I don't know. They both feel wrong to me. Anyway, yes, so here is that. We can go ahead and withdraw that and withdraw that. So let's go over to our inventory and look at these guys. Now, looking at them, you might notice Eclipse set 0 out of 2. Well, let's go ahead and equip that. Wow, Eclipse set 1 out of 2. Equip that. Now let's look down here. Look at that. Eclipse set 2 out of 2, Astronomy plus 2. Because yes, I don't know how I hadn't realized it before, but equipment sets are obviously a thing we're going to support. And it's a full system. It supports all the logical things. You can have a set. You could have a set of 5 items. At 2, you get 1 bonus. At 4, you get another bonus. It doesn't matter. You can set any numbers you want. It's amazing. I love it. But yeah, that's equipment sets. They're pretty nice. And we can move on now. Next up, NPC species. So you might have noticed this guy over here. He's a landed Nomoth now. We got the flying Nomoth around here somewhere. He always wanders away when I want to show him off. But yeah, I just got tired in the last episode of all the NPCs looking the same, so now they have different art. This guy is a different species as well. I don't remember for sure which one. But yeah, you might notice this guy's looking at you. That is one of the new features. So you can sneak up on him, and he doesn't turn around right away, but he will notice you eventually. Or we can just unhide, and he instantly notices us. So that ties into the pickpocketing system, and in the future, who knows what else. But yeah, now if you want to pickpocket, you don't want the NPC facing you, because that's going to hurt your chances a lot if they can see you that easily. But it's just a fun little thing that we kind of needed art to be able to have an NPC looking in a direction, and now we can. But yes, all right, next up, we can go into the bank and grab 2 other new items. We have the marble, and we have the banana peel. These are actually basically the same item, just cosmetically different, conceptually different in how you would get them. Marbles you'll probably craft using glass with the ball bearing mold once I add glass. But you can deploy them. There they are. And then we can deploy the old banana peel. And if you step on them, or if any other entity steps on them, you get stunned for a little while. Can't walk. There we go. Yeah, we tripped on the banana peel. Probably should say slip, but I'll worry about that later. But yeah, so what I foresee is you have that on your action bar. You're running away from an enemy chasing you. You drop that. You're good to go. Just a silly little item I had the idea for. Just makes so much sense. Anyway, let's go ahead. We got another spell to show off. This is called Psionic Volley. And I'm going to need to go into the bank real quick. Grab a bow and arrow, which is what inspired this feature. If I could spell arrow, that would probably help. But yeah, grabbing the bow and arrow is why I realized I should add the and feature. All right, now let's go equip those. We don't actually need the bow quite yet, though, because with Psionic Volley, we can launch an attack and get magic experience for using an arrow. Yeah, it doesn't give archery experience, so you might wonder, why would I ever use a bow? Well, it's because bows will give archery-related bonuses, and if you're not using your bow to fire the arrow, you might not need a bow equipped, and you might get magic XP, but you might not do quite as much damage or have as much accuracy. And it works for any ammo that is counted in the ammo slot, so you can fire the metallic isopods, you can fire ball bearings. Admittedly, I don't think you can fire the boomerang, but I should probably test that, because that would probably be a bit weird if you could. Oh, the boomerang doesn't go in the ammo slot, duh. Sorry, I just hadn't thought of that and got caught off guard. But yeah, so that is that feature. Next up, we have overhead text. You might have seen this guy over here was rambling there. We also have this. We got overhead text, similar to something you might see in RuneScape. Something else I realized, sometimes I might want a sign on the side of a building, and maybe having to actually read the sign would be annoying. So now I could put like the building's name and it just appears. But then obviously once I had that, I had to give it to NPCs. So now we have it on NPCs, and it's a full-blown system. So actually, if we look here, the Cloblin Raider, he's got dialogue for when he's attacked and for when he's defeated. And sometimes even when he's at low health, he'll have different messages, and they're randomly chosen. It's a full-fledged, amazing system, and I'm hopefully going to make good use of it in the future. It's also, this was a last-second addition this morning because I realized that I had forgotten a major feature that kind of is annoying to add later, which is support for languages. So the entire game doesn't support translation yet, but specifically the overhead text system has been written using the Minecraft style like language dot format, where you'd be like npc.cloblin, and then you put the word for cloblin under that for each language. I did do it a little differently, where I still put the English in the game and then just load the other languages as needed, because I find that a little easier to work with. But I'm really glad I realized that now, and not when I actually started adding dialogue and stuff, because that would have been really tiresome to have to add later. Great, this jerk's fighting me. But anyway, after that, right, we got 2 more items in our inventory to look at. We have the collection log. So how the collection log works is whenever you get a drop from anything, a drop table specifically, so that's not just enemies, but also things like containers, treasure chests, etc. I think thieving as well. All that goes into the collection log, so you can keep track of everything you've gotten throughout your entire playthrough. But you might ask, what if it didn't come from a drop? Well, I am woodcutting, apparently. There's the crafting log. We haven't crafted anything, but once you do, it appears in this list. It's pretty simple. That one is easier because we already have the crafting recipes, so you just tie it into the recipe stuff, and you're good to go. Pretty good stuff. Did I show the lodestone shrine for recharging aura? I don't remember. But yeah, that's how you recharge your aura to full now. Good stuff. Pretty nice. Obviously, I'll add items in the future for recharging aura. Why does everyone want a piece of me today? Oh, well, we got more items on our log now. Hooray. All right, so next up. Right, this is a good one. Pets. Oh, he got away. Well, that's unfortunate. I'm going to have to go into the bank, actually. I've got a frog in the bank. You can catch him, but I also just have frogs in the bank. So, pets. Deploy. So now we have a little pet. And why is this guy attacking me? Everyone wants to kill me today. But yes, so pets just follow you around. They don't have any proper physics or anything. They literally just place themselves in a spot you previously stood in. But it works pretty nicely. And he'll say ribbit every once in a while. You can pick him back up. I think getting to face him is a bit difficult, though, and I realized that, so I did add the pet slot, which only appears when you have a pet equipped, and then you can do that to take the frog, and it picks it up and puts it in your inventory, so that solves that little problem. But yeah, obviously the pet system is going to be big in the future. I'll probably add pets that need to be taken care of, and obviously it kind of connects with the whole idea of the taming skill, which doesn't have any uses yet, so that's where that's going to come in. And we might have pets that actually do things as well. But for now, that's all we got. But, of course, adding pets made me realize, well, what if we could just, I don't know, follow anything? So, I added the magnifying glass, which lets me follow anything. So yeah, any NPC now can follow any other NPC. Whether that's a good idea or not, I don't know, but I added the magnifying glass as a silly way to test it out. There's two types of following. There's soft following, where I can just walk away at any time, and then there's hard following, which I describe as the Professor Oak follow, because it's intended for cutscenes and stuff, where somebody leads you around. So that's supported in the game now. I might want to make it a little nicer in the future, but it works at least. It's in a functional state. We're good to go on moving forward there. Now, we've already done the Aura Shrine a bit out of order, but next on the list is the Gazebo. So this was more complicated than you might realize due to our currently chosen art style, which may or may not be the final art style. Who knows? And I don't mean everything in the art style, but specifically like the simple programmer art style. Obviously, a lot of this art sucks and is going to change. But some of it, like the jeweler's bench, is not terrible. But yeah, because of that, though, making something fade out is actually not simple, because this isn't just a sprite. This is a bunch of different shapes drawn on top of each other. And you make a bunch of different shapes on top of each other transparent, and you're going to see them through each other, and it's going to look weird. So we have to convert this thing into a sprite on the fly, and then you can fade it out, which is something I didn't know you could really do, but apparently you can do it, and I looked it up. And it's actually a way to make the game run faster, because drawing all these shapes is not actually very efficient. So if we did stick with this art style, or something like it, it might be a feature we use for almost everything in the future. But yeah, I just wanted something with a roof because I wanted to test this feature. That's not to say I don't have another feature to show off, though, because I didn't want just the fading thing. We also have the thing where it shows a transparent version of you behind stuff. And right now we've only got the redwood tree and the lodestone doing that. But I could add it to pretty much anything in the future. I might adjust the transparency a bit more so that you're less visible. I don't know. But it's a pretty handy little feature. And my idea is I want it to be where if any enemies are attacking you from behind those things, then you can see them as well. That is the long-term goal for that, but I kind of forgot to do that when I implemented it. Whoops, I intended to, but I was distracted. Anyway, next up, this is something that we have seen probably. We have the archery target. So we need to re-equip my bow. So the way the archery target works is that as long as you're using an actual bow, and from a good enough distance, you will get accuracy XP that's pretty good. If you use magic or anything that's not a bow and you're too close, then you'll get 1 XP every time. But from further away, you'll get more. Now we're getting 100 a lot because we're level 100 accuracy from using that thing earlier. But normally you wouldn't get quite so many, although there we're getting a bunch of 10s in a row. But yeah, accuracy is a skill that I want to give a good way to train it, and this is now one way to train it. And it also led to one of the other new features that I added yesterday, which is items being able to merge together. So yeah, you can see it only has 1 bronze arrow on the ground. We get 8 because now they collect together as long as they're within 16 pixels of each other when they drop. Just keeps the ground from being cluttered, makes it faster to pick up items whenever you're fighting something stationary with a ranged weapon, or if you're killing the same enemy in the same spot over and over and the drops keep piling up. Either one, it works. And I believe that is actually everything that we have. That is everything in this update. It was a lot of technical stuff, maybe not a huge amount to show off in a video, but still it took 16 minutes to show off. I'm very happy with how this game is progressing. I'm still putting thought into the actual map design, specifically the graphics sides. That's part of why I added the gazebo and the lodestone, is I'm trying to decide how I want to do the style and the graphics. Am I going to go get pixel art? Am I going to just try to really shiny up the current art method and go with that? I don't know. But did I show off? I did not show off the imp. How did I skip over that? That is crazy. That is crazy that I didn't show off the imp. Anyway, so yes, this is the imp. He's played a trick on me by slipping my mind. Also, I did fix the mushrooms to be forgeable from the last episode. But yes, so the imp, he's just an NPC that has actual art. This is a child imp. He has no horns because he is child. He has a slingshot, though, because he's up in a tree and he's a silly little imp. If I had HP, because these enemies keep attacking me, I don't. So let's fix that real quick. But yes, he will hit you with his slingshot until you get down to 1 HP, because he is a naughty little imp. So we need to teach him a lesson. Hit him with any weapon, anything at all, and he says sorry, and then you can end the conversation one of 2 ways. He turns a little darker and gets rid of his slingshot. But it's funny because you could hit him with literally anything. So you could have the strongest spell in the game and hit him with that, and he'd just be like, sorry. Or you can hit him with the lightest one. But yeah, it's just a fun little thing. I thought it would be silly to have an imp up in a tree attacking people. And I wanted to use the bird perching system for something else. So that's how we ended up with that. And yeah, I can't believe I almost forgot to mention him. But unless I didn't, in which case I should probably get some sleep. I don't know. I was pretty tired when I recorded this episode. Yeah, that's where we're at on Skills Go Up. We are moving towards something amazing, I think. We're really building lots of things. I'm hoping this week to maybe put some more thought into some skills, maybe get, like, we got aura skill kind of built now, but I do need the training method. I want to do that for some more skills. I want to flesh out some ideas. We're adding a lot of systems. I'm building a lot of basic coding functionality into it, but I would like to get some more gameplay functionality figured out. I don't know if that's how this week will go, but I'll see you guys in probably 6 or 7 days to find out what's happened. Bye!